Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Mars is about to move in the sign of Sagittarius. Now this is a very strong movement, especially when Mars was in Scorpio, it was with Ketu. This was actually, it's like it was boiling the Scorpio from inside. It was boiling the chaos in the Scorpio. It is now crossing the Gandanta of the Jyeshtha and the Moola. And every time Mars moves from Scorpio to Sagittarius, it is a huge transition. It's a transition of implementation of energy from death towards life. Because the journey of Mars from Aries to Scorpio completes its natural physical cycle. And from Sagittarius to Aries, it is more on a spiritual journey. And that is why it gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn. It's a Saturn zodiac. It's a selfless act of a soldier. There is no agenda, there is no motive except the spiritual motive, except the higher purpose or the higher cause. But the thought of higher purpose or higher cause can be corrupted. A seed can be planted, which then can burst out into a tree of adharma when Mars move in Sagittarius. So you have to be very, very careful. Mars transit in Sagittarius will also find a retrograde Venus there. Initially, for the first week of Mars transit, I will say this will not be a very good sign, because Venus is after all Maya, it is Daitya Guru, it is something that Mars have to encounter before it can manage the energies of Sagittarius. First of all, it will be in the Moola Nakshatra for the first few days. So Sagittarius, which is the house of Dharma, which is the house of power, which is the house of divine intellect, the higher consciousness. When the planet that rules life and death, because it is sheer energy, the same energy gets captured as life and then released as death, now wants to perform dharmic karya, dharmic task, spiritual task. But the moment it encounters a retrograde Venus, Mars can be deceived by the pain and suffering. You may remember your past days, you may remember the pains, you may recall all the negative events of life, and then there will be a sudden enthusiasm to fight for that cause. You would want justice, you would want to win. This is a Mars that seeks victory, especially once it enters Purvashada Nakshatra. And if you observe, the movement of Mars will be from 16th of January till 26th of February. But this goes hand in hand with the Venus movement, because Venus just after a few hours on 27th will also move along with Mars in the sign of Capricorn. That means Mars, till the time Venus is retrograde, must be kept under check. That means the energy, the anger, the passion, the enthusiasm, the belief system should be kept under check, because both Venus and Mercury are retrograde. At least till first week of February, you must be cautious. And once Venus becomes direct, that's when you will see that Mars and Venus is like Purush and Prakriti. Instead of getting confused, it will convert into a form of creation. It will become a benevolent force that will give you a new way to recreate your life, to become more happy. This is also the time when you will also learn to follow your passion. Doing something creative is going to be the best way to handle Mars and Venus conjunction in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the belief system, because it is the spirituality, a religion that we follow. The faith, our faith in reality is Sagittarius. When Mars moves in the Moola Nakshatra, it will focus on its core principles. It will rediscover itself. This is Mars trying to learn from whatever experience he has received in the sign of Scorpio. Therefore, you will also see that this is going to increase your capacity to do work. You would also get a lot of confidence in following your passion, pursuing your dreams, and this will be a new lease of life, a new enthusiasm, because now Mars is not under the effect of Rahu or Ketu. But Mars definitely goes under Paap Kartari, because now Mars will find Saturn and retro Mercury second from itself. In fact, there are 3 planets right in front of Mars: Venus, Mercury and Saturn. Understand that Mars is in a Jupiterian zodiac. Jupiter is in the house of Aquarius, third from Mars. So Mars consciousness will be towards healing. Mars will try to correct especially the houses where it aspects. And from Sagittarius, Mars will first of all aspect the house of Pisces. Therefore, both the Jupiterian houses are now under the control of Mars. Then from Sagittarius, Mars will aspect Gemini. But there is one house that will now, or one zodiac sign that will now get the 8th aspect of Mars, and that is Cancer. And now if you are a Cancer native, if you are a Cancer moon sign, if you are a Cancer ascendant, Cancer will now get the aspect of Saturn and Mars. Is it negative? Let's say in this way. The harmful effect of Saturn will be controlled by the 8th aspect of Mars. And because it is a debilitated aspect of Mars, if Mars aspects this water zodiac sign and tries to damage this, the restriction of Saturn is always there as a check. It's like the higher order, because Saturn controls the resource of Mars. If a soldier has to fight a war, it needs resources, replenishments, and if there are none, doesn't matter how strong the soldier is, he can't fight a war without weapons. So the most affected zodiac sign apart from all other zodiac signs will be the sign of Cancer, which will see now a harmony coming in, a balance coming into picture. Because now Mars is trying to balance the Saturnian chaos. On one side, Saturn was slowing things down, creating restrictions. On the other hand, Mars will give a new enthusiasm, a new lease of life, and will ask you to move ahead. Now, Mars' protective aspect, the 4th aspect, will fall in the sign of Pisces. Now, this is good for Pisces people also. Why? Because Pisces is the sign which is the sign of exaltation of Venus. So, Venus is with Mars. Pisces is the zodiac sign of Jupiter, but Sagittarius is also zodiac of Jupiter. Mars is directly controlling Jupiter. Jupiter is in a positive sense. Fine, it's a very good move, very good placement or angle of Mars. And the third thing is, where the Pisces gets affected the most in a positive way, the 3rd aspect of Saturn. The 3rd aspect of Saturn falls on Pisces. Mars' 4th aspect falls on Pisces. This is a brilliant relief from any damage that was being caused in the sign of Pisces. Now you have to see your own chart. The area of life that is controlled by Pisces will see tremendous amount of relief, but you will have to move mountains. You must have that faith, and retro Venus with Mars will give you that faith. But the action should be taken only once Venus becomes direct. Now, what is the role of Mercury in all these things? Mercury will act as a overconfidence or misinformation in this war. That is why any war, any difficulty coming from Gemini can hurt you badly. So don't try to create a conflict in your life from the area which is ruled by the Gemini zodiac sign, because that area will not behave positively, because Mercury is with Saturn. Mercury is retrograde. Unless Mercury moves into an air zodiac sign, Gemini will not see a positive outcome. Gemini might create some disturbing scenarios, so avoid any conflict from that area of life. You need to have that art of creation in your hand. Mars also represents war. There can be conflicts around the world, conflicts on resources. Somewhere the prices or inflation can be so high that there can be fight on resource all over. So be careful. Don't be a hoarder, but plan your expenses accordingly. Don't overspend in this time, because you may overspend just with a belief system that spending will make you happy. Retrograde Venus is like Maya trying to corrupt your mind and will try to make you do things that you are not supposed to do. Extramarital affair, breaks in relationships, troubled marriages will be seen in the first half of the Mars transit. Also, Mars in Sagittarius will aspect Gemini, and Gemini is the aspect of observation, the seventh aspect, which is communication. So you will also see that the way you communicate, you must radiate positive vibration. You must radiate that beauty of soul. Use your words wisely. Now for Aries ascendant, Mars will move in the 9th house. First Lord moving in 9th house, 8th Lord moving in 9th house is absolutely good for you. It is a transit where your fate will be changed, your destiny will change. This is the transit where you will be able to become more successful. You will decide what's best for you. You can follow your passion, especially if your passion is in advertisement, media, journalism, or you want to join some artistic courses. This is the time for you. Mars movement in the 9th house, especially once it moves in Purvashada Nakshatra, will give you great benefits. Taurus. For Taurus, Mars will move in the 8th house. Now this movement of Mars is actually good for marriages. It will resolve issues. It will try to resolve issues through investment. So invest your time, money and love. Your efforts will matter the most, and don't communicate something that you don't want to speak. Keep secrets to the level it should be kept. I'm not saying that keeping secret is a very good thing, but sometimes not letting the volcano out from your heart will save relationships. Don't initiate a fight between siblings over property or investment. Stay away from any tamasic food, because that can create health related issues. Overall, this will be a transit of transformation that will give you a much needed relief. Gemini ascendant. Now in case of Gemini, Mars will move in the 7th house. This will directly aspect your 10th, 1st and 2nd house. This is good for people who want to do some creative business, who want to do network marketing, who want to do business that is associated with Martian and Venusian quality makeup, something that needs a lot of energy, stand-up comedies, YouTube videos, influencers, social media. All these things will come under the domain of this creative force. So 7th house Mars will definitely give you a lot of positive outcome and may give you a thought that apart from the usual career that you follow, you may find success in an alternative career path. And that alternative career path will be, once if you judge it positively, will be good for you. Just make sure that you do not dominate in the marriage and try to keep proper harmony. Listen to your partner's need, listen to your partner's advice, and follow the path of unity rather than being individual. If you work as a team, you and your spouse will form a unit that will lead you to success. Cancer. For you, Mars will move in the 6th house. For you, it is the time to fulfill your duties, to sacrifice your desire, to balance your head and mind, and try to break away from the bondage. Mars in 6th house gives you the fighting ability, fighting for what is right, fighting for a good cause, fighting for a higher purpose. But wait, do not create that fight, do not initiate or jump into the fight until Venus is direct, because then it becomes a fight without purpose. You will end up losing the war. Unnecessary struggle should be avoided. Lifestyle issues may come up in the health, and it can be a health concern. So be careful from that angle of life. Overall, this will be a very transformative and a very dynamic transit for you. Leo. For Leo, Mars will move in the 5th house. It's a very good transit for people who are in social media, who are influencers, who use their creative expression, actors, singers. It is also very good if you want to really learn something like learning music, learning drama, learning arts. It is also good for people who are in administrative services, because now the Venus will give you that creative touch that will make you different from others. But you need to learn from the surroundings. You must learn that by giving up the ego, you will be able to become more successful. Overall, this transit is going to be an absolutely brilliant transit where it changes your destiny and also it redefines what makes you happy. Virgo. For Virgo, you will see that the transit will happen in the 4th house. Mother's health can be a concern, so be careful on that part. Try to protect the marriage by not speaking bad words, by not bursting out your volcano. There can be few things that you will feel that are absent in marriage, that you will have to sit and talk. It should be a strategic planning, otherwise you will find yourself in a big soup. Do not try to find happiness elsewhere, try to find happiness within, because the ultimate expression of Venus is in the sign of Pisces. That is the feet of God, that's the feet of Mahavishnu. So in that case, you will have to be devotional, you will have to be more spiritual, and then you will see happiness. This will also bring a change in career. So if you want to really bring a change in career, it is the right time for you. But while you are investing in business, be careful. On one hand, you might trigger a change that will affect your source of income. But if not done correctly, can actually block it also, because the next move of Mars will be with Saturn. It's the restriction in the sign of Capricorn. For Libra, the Mars movement will be in the 3rd house. This is a very good movement because this is a Mars and Venus, the Purush and Prakriti in the 3rd house. You get the proper power of creation. Also, you get to exercise your free will. Try to avoid any conflict between brothers and friends. Try to avoid any random purchase of real estate, or at least you thought of looking for a real estate property because you want to show off. Do not flex your muscle because Saturn is there to restrict that. Work for a higher purpose and follow your duty, and you will see that the month of January and February will actually give you great results, because Mars in 3rd house means you have the weapon. It is a time to create your own destiny by your own hands. Scorpio. Although Mars has moved out of your ascendant, it's actually a good time. But you will have to be now careful about the illusions of Rahu and Ketu in the 1st and the 7th house. While speaking and while eating, you have to be careful. 2nd house Mars can make you speak few things which are not coherent with your nature, and that can put your personality at risk. Your image can be at risk and it can actually create blunders. When in confusion, try to remain quiet. Overall, this Mars movement is actually positive. It's a very good movement for financial success. You can invest your money in the right areas after Mercury becomes direct, and you will see that financially you will be able to control any losses that you're facing. But there can be some conflicts in the family, especially between your son, daughters, or there can be issues due to property or material assets. Try to solve it with peace talks. Sagittarius. Mars goes on your 1st house. It's on your head. Try to keep your anger under control. Because both Venus and Mars will be on your head, it will give you a lot of creative aspirations. Your desire will try to expand, and that's good. But then you will also keep a tab on something that is impractical, immaterial. Don't make a joke of yourself in the public by trying to prove a point that doesn't even exist in the first place. So while making sensible decisions, if you are practical enough, not taking decisions emotionally, and if you are going You will have a headstrong attitude and you will be able to pull yourself out from all problems of life. Track the movement of moon, and whenever the movement of moon is in the sign of Taurus or Scorpio, do not take any major step on those days, because then your mind will be under the effect of Rahu and Ketu. You can act under illusion. So stay careful and exercise, because Mars in the first house means you should now start jogging, you should now start running, you should now become physically fitter. Capricorn ascendant. Now for you, Mars will move in the 12th house. This can increase your imagination. So you need to be careful on your exploration outside marriage. Adharma will not be spared by Saturn, that is in the first house. Issues in marriage can be resolved with a proper talks by putting your thoughts on the table in a very strategic manner, in a way that doesn't hurt, in a very diplomatic way, and going point by point will actually help you recover from the losses. Especially if you are in finances, this is the time to audit all your expenses, and if you feel that your money is not being saved, that's how you do it, by auditing your expenses and then trying to close each loophole one by one. It is like you are knitting your life in your own hands. Some things will be lost, but more or less you will gain a lot of things. This Mars will draw power from your own physical self. You might have some sleepless nights. You might be very much active in the night because your physical energy will be at its peak. So the best way to handle this is get up at night around 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Change your schedule and you will see that you will have the most productive 4 hours around 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and you can do wonders. If you want to change your life, that's how you do it when Mars is in the 12th house. Don't make any major investment, because Mars in the 12th house can create huge losses, considering Gemini is in the 6th house. But this is a very good time to repay the debts. Those who are under huge debts will see some relief. Chant Gajendra Moksha to get out of troubles. And people who are facing court cases should be careful and must follow all the law and all the norms, because Mars in the 12th house can create chaos there. Don't fight for unnecessary cause. First be a seeker and then be a believer. Aquarius ascendant. For you, Mars is in the 11th house. Now this is a very, very positive move, especially from the career front. Your 3rd house and the 10th house, both houses of karma, are now in the Lord is in the 11th house, and this means you will only gain out of this transit. When Venus goes direct, Venus is the Bhagya Lord, 9th Lord. This means your career will move in a positive direction. You will see a new hope there, especially after 25th of January. And when Mercury goes direct, then you will see that all the transactions, everything where you put your hand in will become positive. Obviously, you will have to plan, but you can expect positive outcomes. Because 11th house Mars will aspect the 2nd house with the 4th aspect and aspect the 6th house with the 8th aspect. It is where it expands your income, helps you save the funds, helps you repay the debt, helps you recover from the financial hurdles, financial losses. So for Aquarius, it is a very positive financial transit. You will also see that you will be able to buy those luxury stuff that you always wanted to buy. Your dreams will be fulfilled. You will meet new friends. Make the best use of it. Finally, Pisces, which I have already told, that Pisces will see a lot of relief because of the Martian 4th aspect. Mars moves in the 10th house, which means you will take matters into your own hand. And your own karma will be to build your identity, to build yourself. Understand what is the reality of expectation. All those illusions will fade away, especially after Venus becomes direct. And then you will see that once Mars moves out of the Mula Nakshatra, you will learn a lot about yourself and you will be able to work. This is the time to execute. This is not the time to imagine, but this is the time to work on your dreams. This can change your image, but it's all depending on the condition of Mars in your house and how you can pull yourself out. Having a headstrong attitude and a complete devotion and faith on the Almighty Bhagavan Mahavishnu, the Divine God, that faith is necessary for the Mars to function properly. Remember, one zodiac sign of Venus is Taurus and Rahu is there. And for you, Taurus is the third house. You can use the energies of Rahu for an out-of-the-box approach towards life. And you will be able to do things that you only imagined till date. So that was a brief take on the Martian energy analysis in the sign of Sagittarius. It's a tremendous transformation. It's a soul transformation. It's a transformation of your journey towards divinity. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. You can also follow me on Instagram and Telegram. And if you want to take consultations, please drop me an email. The email ID is in the description box below. This is the time you can attract positive energy, abundance, wealth, happiness, peace, and success by simply becoming positive in your day-to-day life. Radiating the energy of positivity and having positive affirmations is going to work wonders. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, this is your host Puneet. Namaste.